Tesla gets both good and bad news from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The company officially enters the market in India, the quarterly safety report is released, and much more. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 640, recorded for January 24th, 2021. The show is brought to you by my supporter, Brad. Brad wants to encourage all of you to consider joining us as a supporter of Tesla Tidbits on Patreon.com for as little as $1 a month. Let's join together to keep the Tesla Tidbits coming. Today's show is safety heavy and NHTSA heavy, to be sure. For those unaware of the acronym, NHTSA stands for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration here in the United States, and we have a load of stories today involving them. We start off with the first one, which started about a year ago now. Longtime fans will remember well from roughly 2016 until recently, a spate of accidents occurred where Teslas allegedly flung themselves into walls of their own accord. Each time, Tesla reviewed the logs from the car, and each time the logs bore out that the accelerator was inadvertently pressed, causing the car to launch itself toward certain peril. Noted Tesla hacker Jason Hughes even addressed the incidents, describing exactly why this was impossible due to Tesla's design of the accelerator as well, but none of this prevented NHTSA from opening an investigation last January after a request from a man that curiously doesn't even own a Tesla to recall all vehicles made by the company. He provided the agency with 232 complaints about vehicles accelerating on their own as supporting evidence. This January, however, NHTSA concludes their investigation, finding no fault from Tesla, and we get this information from TechCrunch. NHTSA ruled out that all of the crashes cited were due to driver error and denied the recall request. From the report, quote, "There is no evidence of any fault in the accelerator pedal assemblies, motor control systems, or brake systems that has contributed to any of the cited incidents," end quote. Additionally, addressing issues with other manufacturers previously, where the design of the pedal system may have caused the drivers to be more likely to mistake the accelerator for the brake, the agency added, quote, "There is no evidence of a design factor contributing to increased likelihood of pedal misapplication," end quote. Finally, dropping the mic on the theory of cars just maliciously trying to harm their owners, the finding says, quote, "The theory provided of a potential electronic cause of SUA in the subject vehicles is based on inaccurate assumptions about system design and log data," end quote. Tidbit number 2, however, is not good news for the company, though it may be good news for some folks in the audience. Inside EVs reports that NHTSA is asking Tesla to recall and repair all Model S and Model X vehicles with the original MCU version 1 center screens. This has been an ongoing saga for some time, after aforementioned hacker Jason Hughes reported that there was an inherent design flaw with the system that would inevitably cause the units to fail due to the type of solid-state storage on the units and the amount of reading and writing the vehicles due to memory. Many folks, myself included, have had to have the board replaced, sometimes multiple times. Recently, Tesla even announced that they would extend the warranty on these units, effectively doubling the warranty on this part to 8 years, 100,000 miles, if the vehicle was built prior to March 2018. The email to owners said that if they'd already paid for repairs that meet the conditions of this extension, that they may be due for a reimbursement, and that these details would come by February this year. It would seem that this wasn't enough for NHTSA, though. Citing that the loss of center screen would prevent owners from using the backup camera, any HVAC functions, and even turn signal functionality, the agency was led to request the recall. However, it should be noted that this is only a request for recall, and not a mandatory order. Tesla may dispute that need, and has until the 27th of this month to do so. If Tesla does comply with the request, it will be very curious to see how it's handled on multiple fronts. Firstly, on what exactly the replacement part is. Will Tesla simply put better memory on the old boards, or will all vehicles end up retrofitted with MCU2 screens? And for those that have already performed this upgrade, and those that are outside of Tesla's extended warranty terms, will they also get refunds? I suspect we should have some answers before the next regularly scheduled show. Tidbit number 3 swings us back to good news from NHTSA. Tesla announced that the Model Y has been tested by the organization, earning yet another 5-star rating for the company in all vehicle categories. While us fans expected nothing less, it's still always great to see third-party independent validation of what we've come to expect from Tesla vehicles, and that is, apart from stunning good looks and gut-wrenching performance, world-class safety. Congrats to the design and engineering teams for Model Y on yet another amazing success. Tidbit number 4 this week is the quarterly safety report. For those unaware, each quarter Tesla releases a report for the fleet on the number of accidents that Tesla vehicles were involved in and the status of the autopilot system at the time, whether that was an older vehicle not even equipped with the autopilot safety features, a vehicle equipped with the suite but without the active driving system engaged, or if the system was fully engaged. This quarter brought somewhat expected numbers. Quarter over quarter, the system was less safe than the previous quarter, but given most Tesla vehicles are sold in the northern hemisphere, this is to be expected with the onset of winter. Fortunately, the year over year numbers are still in good shape. As to the raw numbers, Tesla registered one accident for every 3.45 million miles driven where autopilot was fully engaged. This is down from last quarter, where the number was every 4.59 million miles, but up from the fourth quarter in 2019, where the number was only 3.07 million miles. If autopilot was off, but the vehicle was at least equipped with autopilot safety features, which always remain active, this number drops to one accident per 2.05 million miles for the fourth quarter in 2020. Comparatively, this was every 2.42 million miles last quarter and 2.1 million miles in Q4 of 2019. Lastly, if you're just driving a Tesla with no autopilot capability at all, the company saw an accident for every 1.27 million miles driven. Comparatively, this was 1.79 million last quarter and 1.64 million miles in Q4 of 2019. It should be noted, however, that all of these numbers still dwarf standard vehicles, where there is an accident for every 484,000 miles. Tidbit number 5 for this week sees Tesla entering another huge market that it previously had no official presence in. Courtesy of Tesla Club India, we see that Tesla has been incorporated in Karnataka, India earlier this month. While it is unclear if Tesla will set up any type of manufacturing or research facilities at this time, or if this incorporation will simply be limited to opening sales and service centers, time will tell. I've reported previously on efforts to establish the former, and to me at least, it would make loads of sense for Tesla to have a factory in a country sporting 1 billion people and desperately needs electric vehicles to improve air quality. We return back to Inside EVs for tidbit number 6, and we see that JD Power has given Tesla some kudos. In a study on what it calls premium EV ownership, Tesla vehicles came up as the top 3 vehicles in customer satisfaction. In a score out of 1,000, the Model S placed first with a score of 798. The Model 3 placed second with a score of 790, and the Model Y came in third, though the score wasn't noted. The first vehicle that's not a Tesla to place in the study was Audi's e-tron at number 4. No surprises here, as Tesla owners generally love their vehicles. We've seen similar customer satisfaction numbers coming from Consumer Reports as well, where Tesla tops all brands in customer satisfaction, and second place is a distant second place. Time to add another award to the pile. Teslarati provides us with tidbit number 7 today. This one takes us into the energy realm, where we don't get as much news, but this is a big one. Weddell & Sons Roofing, a Tesla contractor installing solar roofs, managed to do an install for a 12 kilowatt system in one day. While the company notes that it started and ended the day with headlamps on, this isn't a huge deal given that January in the middle of the US, where the company is based, will see little light at the 8 a.m. start of most days, as well as the 5 p.m. end. This is an amazing feat and a crucial one as well. For those that are concerned with the speed of installation, companies such as this one bringing the install time down to a single day give homeowners one less thing to consider when making a purchase decision. Our final tidbit this week is a good point that listener Bro Chiller on Twitter made to me following my story on streaming services that were missing from the car following the story on the new services that look to be added soon. I asked folks to let me know if there were any major ones left missing, and Bro Chiller helpfully reminded me that I did miss a rather glaring one in YouTube Music. Thanks for your feedback. That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to all my patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. And as always, I have a special shout out to all the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They are Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dory and Steve Guberman, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Todd Sullivan, Mitch Long, Zortek LED Canada, Morvan Ogg, Ringman and Deborah Malkowitz, T Sportline, Vicky Kirk, Ricky Johnston, Nathan Garza, Ed Patterman, and Sunil Joseph. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. Until next time, keep it charged and hit the road.